Hey gentlemen, Charles here from the Gentleman's Journey, and I want to do a quick little video on boot brushes. Now, I've always been a proponent of just having one or two, and I've acquired such a big collection here. We're going to go through briefly which brush is for which purpose and why I ended up with so many. So the first thing I think every gentleman needs is just one standard horsehair boot brush. Something like this. This one here is a cobbler's choice. My favorite is called the Professional. This thing is a monster. I have really big hands, so this fits me really well, where this is a little bit smaller, kind of medium size. And then over here is a Kiwi, what I'm calling a travel brush. Now, the first thing a boot brush is good for is just getting the dust off of your boots. The cool thing about that is as you're getting the dust off, it's also kind of raising the fibers and moving the oils and the waxes around that already are in the boot from the factory. It's getting those moved around really nicely. Of course, horsehair is really gentle on most boots. This is not a plastic or nylon bristle, so it's not going to scuff anything up. The important thing is when we get into why I have so many brushes is a lot of gentlemen, especially in fine footwear, they really don't want to polish the boot or the shoe with the same brush that they've dusted it with. So I've recently labeled my brushes. This one here is going to be for dusting off my boots. Now this is an ideal scenario. If I was traveling, I'm going to take this Kiwi with me, and it's kind of going to be a one for all brush. But if I'm home and I'm doing it the way I really want to do it, I'll dust with this brush here. Next one up is a cleaning brush. Now this one has really hard bristles compared to a horsehair. This one here you can match with your saddle soap, with your leather cleaner. You can really get in there and scrub hard. This would be good for your work boots, things like really tough leather, not so much on your Italian loafers, if you will. Over here, I have a dark horsehair brush. So not only are the bristles dark, but I labeled it dark. This is gonna be if I've cleaned, conditioned, and polished with maybe this black shoe polish here, then I can come on and brush it and shine it with this horsehair brush. You're gonna use black, you're gonna use dark brown, possibly burgundy, but you gotta be careful. Burgundy is kind of a thing of its own. You almost want a separate brush just for burgundy. This right here is Bordeaux. This is Saphir Butte de Cure. It's their yellow label, so not the top of the line. It's really good stuff. I've conditioned my Thursday Explorer Captain boots. This is that color to the T, so that worked really good. With that, I use a towel. So I think you can see a little bit of burgundy on this one here. I think I've used that before. Just cut up an old t-shirt, 100% cotton works really good. If you're using something like that, I might take my brush, my duster, and clean them off first. And then from there, I'm not gonna be using a horsehair brush much, because if you get burgundy in here, I don't know, you can use it on black, but it's kind of a gray area. So each to their own on that. And then that leaves me with anything lighter. I'll use this guy. This is an antique. I got it in some boot kit, kind of like one of these boxes back here. I ended up with this, and I love this brush so much. It actually looks like it has burgundy built into it. I've done so many neutral colored boots with the neutral conditioners, whether it's polish or just the creams, and it's never brought any kind of color pigmentation to my boots or shoes. So this is my old trusty. I swear by this. It has absolutely zero horsehair pulling out, and this Cobbler's Choice already has a bunch coming out. So I was really bummed out about that. These two are for Suede and nubuck, so they're a little bit smaller. Cobbler's Choice and Angelus. This is a hard bristle brush. This is what I say a lot of guys have if you're a mechanic. Next to your bathroom sink, you can go ahead and clean your fingernails with. That's essentially all this is. You don't have to get an Angelus product, something like that, but you might have something already hard bristle that you can rough up that nubuck and the Suede, the rough out. They have this nap that likes to lay down. When you brush it, you raise those fibers and you raise the nap, and then it prepares it for conditioner. So if you're using that kind of stuff, right here I have this Renovator. This is Saphir. It has brown pigmentation into it. And this is good for Suede, nubuck, rough out. Red Wing Chelsea boots I did a video on. call for mink oil, so you can put mink oil on those rough out. That's kind of that line with the Suede nubuck. Over here is a little applicator brush. I love these things. I just bought a bunch of them we're gonna cover. I've had this one forever and I've used it for everything. This is a Kiwi brand. I don't think on these brushes you need to get too crazy. This guy here has now moved into, I labeled it clean. So this is gonna be just for cleaning my boots. So I have some saddle soap here, a little tin of saddle soap, and then Angela's Suede nubuck leather cleaner. Either or, I have some from Cobbler's Choice. You can get it in a little bowl and mix it up, and you get the bubbles and you start cleaning your boots. So this one is going to be classified just for cleaning. Now over here from Red Wing, they have this leather foam cleaner and they send it out with just a typical sponge. I kind of like the brush a little bit better because you can get around the laces, get around the welt, the stitching, everything like that I think is better with a brush. Moving over, this one here is a dark brush. You'll notice it's slightly darker than this light one. This one I labeled wax, but I know that it's dark. So this is gonna go for black shoe polish. That's pretty much all this brush is going to be for. One step over is going to be cream. Again, it's a darker bristle brush, and you'll see that I've put the Venetian shoe cream and then Saphir greasy leather cream. These are both brown. So anything in your darker, I don't have any black creams other than a cream polish. So these guys here are going to be the type of thing I'll use for that brush. And again, you're just keeping the pigmentation away from each other. So kind of like in food, you don't want to cross-contaminate your chicken or your beef and veggies. You move on over here, and this is a lighter color brush, and I labeled it cream. So that's, again, Saphir greasy leather cream, but it's the neutral, something like the Bigmore Big 4. These things are neutral color, so you have a neutral brush, and they're both kind of in that cream liquid realm. Lastly, another light color one, this is wax. So these guys, this isn't necessarily like shoe wax like the black, like a polish, but these have 3 or 4 different types of waxes and oils built into them, but they come in more of a waxy feel to them. If you're getting into the pigmentation, like I said over here with this Bordeaux, you might want to just opt for a towel. You end up using these when you're trying to get a high shine polish, depending on the fabric. All of these across the board can be used with just a towel, and you can dab some on and apply it to the boots. That's a really common way. That's how I've done it most of the time, or just with my hands. If it's a good cream like this stuff here from Saphir, I don't mind just using my fingers, even without gloves, not a problem. But it is really nice as I'm getting into these little applicator brushes. It just really agitates the leather and works it into the stitching. I've really became a fan of using those little brushes. Now Duck Feet here, they have their own wax, and what they sent out are these two guys. I'm guessing the dark one here is for cleaning, and then the light one is for applying the wax, but you can see different options across the board. So you got foam, you got a regular sponge, you got applicator brushes. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I always say if you're giving your boots any love at all, you're in the at least top 5%, if not the 1% of men. So give yourself a pat on the back because you're doing better than the rest of them. That said, there's always room for improvement. So let me know what you guys think I should add to my collection. It's always growing. I need a huge box now. It used to fit in one of these little boxes, and now it's just taking up an entire cardboard box. But I've done videos on basically every single one of these products. We have a bunch of conditioning videos coming out. Make sure and check back. I mean, like this one here, Cobbler's Choice Leather Cream. I've done a video on that. I just got the Duck Feet. I'm gonna do a conditioning video on those boots, and then I'll do a separate video just on that conditioner. That's where we kind of break down the ingredients, a little bit about the company, some of the science behind it. As always, I'll have links to these products down in the description. Go ahead and click over. It's not gonna cost you any extra. Just let the companies know that I sent you there. Keeps the channel going. Friends, let me know again what kind of cleaning products you have or you think I should review. Make sure and check my conditioning video playlist. Got a bunch of boots, a bunch of conditioning videos, all kinds of menswear coming out on the channel. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. You get notified every time Gentleman's Journey puts out a new video. So friends, that's gonna do it for this one. Until the next video, God bless, and hey, don't forget to give your boots some love from time to time. If you like this one, we got a bunch of content just like this. Check out the channel. We have everything in playlists, anything from more men's boots to menswear. Check back often. We got a bunch of great stuff coming up on the channel. Till the next one, God bless, and we'll catch you then.